Hi, hello there, brother. GM,
Hello,
GM. Good
GM.
evening from the side of the earth, from the side of the world. Good evening. How are you doing? Kumusta?
Totally fine. In
All
Chinese, we
right.
say ni hao, ni hao.
Me. In Filipino, it's kumusta. For our hey guys, our guest is already in the green room. So again, I'll be saying again, if you hear some muffler sounds in my background, again, that is your man. Not me. If not, then that's an AI, right? So,
Yeah.
guys, we have a special guest for this evening. All right, welcome for the
Bro.
11th episode. Yes, indeed. Welcome for the 11th episode of Pulse Asian TV. I am with my co-host, uh, Asian on Pulse, brother. Yeah, man. We have. What can you say about tonight's guest? They are building something quite unique
Well,
from what Asian. They are kind of one of the liquid mining side of things and some additional stuff built on top of your DM. Yeah, man, go ahead, brother. You were saying something?
oh yeah, no, just our second episode of the year, and looking forward to know more, to know better of what's building within the ecosystem and within the whole industry. So yeah, let's without further ado, welcome our new special guest.
Yeah. Welcome, Jay Gold of Pulse X, and of course, Dave of Pulse X. How are you guys doing? Thank you.
We're doing amazing. Thank you very much for this invitation, MacB and Asia on Pulse.
It's
Yeah,
our
he's
Yes,
pleasure.
probably
very
yeah,
happy to be here.
yeah.
Very,
Yeah,
very happy to be here.
yeah, man. Quick shout out to MVS Script for having this monster thread, right? So we were in there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man.
And
Absolutely.
everyone go check out the monster thread. Go check out the monster thread. It's one of the best ways to stay in touch on Pulse Chain.
Yeah,
Amazing.
indeed, man. It tries to connect our communities and the ecosystem, the apps, the builders, right? From the community members. Check out MVS Script, guys. They're doing some monster thread, all this stuff, right? So again, shout out to MVS Script. So we did have this last episode, Asian, on our 10th episode, right? And we did mention App Token of one of our updates, right? And I think the guys from Plus X are here right now on the flash, right? And they will be speaking to us with the update with their um, with their project or their app, right? So it's quite interesting. Again, brothers, we welcome you. It's our pleasure to have you again. Pulse Asian TV is a show, guys, in which we feature builders, innovators in the space. Literally, we want to hear your story. Speaking of, we want to hear your story. Where did you guys started your crypto journey? Might as well share this for our community who are watching right now.
Okay, so first off, I want to say this to the whole audience that we're honored to be here. It's the beginning of 2026. We are towards the tail end of the year of the snake, about to enter the year of the horse. I know, New Year's in Asia is very important. And as far as Plus X, Dave and I are co-founders, but we're part of a group of six co-founders. And just to tell you a little bit about the co-founders that were not here, who send their regards and they do want to make it. Artem is our CEO. His journey started in 2017. He was doing market making services, among other services, for ICOs in 2017. He is our lead dev and our CEO. Then we have Haunted, who is the founder of Up and UpX token, and those both tokens are connected to the PlusX ecosystem. We have Dave, not Dave, Doc, who's not here. I like to call him the Swiss Army knife. Doc does UI, UX. He does, security systems. We have Bas, whose background is in traditional finance, and Bas is responsible for a lot of our bots. If you go to our Telegram, you will see a lot of information presented to you in bots. Bas is the one that does all the bots. Dave, the professor. We call Dave the professor. Dave, do you want to share a little bit about yourself, and then I'll end
Yes,
it with mine.
absolutely. Yeah, my name's Dave. I'm one of the co-founders. I didn't start out thinking I was a co-founder. I'm a retired mathematician, degree in mathematics, and I studied a lot of cryptography. And so, when Haunted was out on Liquid Loans, I don't know if you're familiar with their protocol, but he was, back in the early days of Pulse Chain starting up, he was on all of the PulseX.com chats, and him and I hooked up, and he started asking me some questions about his tokenomics and what he was doing within crypto. And here we are years later within the Pulse Chain ecosystem, and I've joined the team, and we are producing products that I don't think you'll find on any other DeFi platform in crypto.
And that's innovations.
That is us, 100%. We're not a copy paste. We're not copy paste over here. We are true bottom floor up, and that's a credit to our devs who started in 2017 as market makers.
Wow,
Absolutely.
amazing.
And myself, Jay Gold, I have worked for 25 years as a coach to CEOs in Fortune 50 companies, also, working with Yahoo, Google, Oracle, also tech startups, and started and sold a marketing firm. So I do a lot of the marketing and outreach part of it. And MacB and Asia on Pulse, our focus on PlusX is to build best-in-class DeFi protocols that are going to break records. So Asian, we're interested in innovation, but we're interested in giving extraordinary value back to users. We're not just interested in surviving, we want to thrive, and we want to do it in the best way possible. And our protocols really have one aim in mind. We are long Pulse Chain. Asian on Pulse, Pulse is in your handle. We're long Pulse Chain. And we believe that Pulse Chain will become a thriving blockchain, and it will be the bed, the foundation of a parallel economy. And our tools are going to be powering that freedom, that free, unrestricted parallel economy. And that's what we're doing on PlusX, is how do we build the infrastructure of the parallel economy that's going to be occurring within Pulse Chain. So we are 100% believers in Pulse Chain, and know that this will have its day.
It's amazing. Amazing. So
Yes.
Some question like Jago and Dave. So you guys like get into crypto since like early days, and then so you guys know Hex since day one as well.
Dave is a day one hexagon.
Yeah. I'm a day one hexagon. Yes, I'm one of those guys who threw too much money in on day one when the payout for Hex was really low. But then I DCA'd in, small amounts over a period of time. And then you watch during the adoption amplifier, the price dropped down. It's like, well, shit, maybe I just threw all my money away. I better stop DCAing. Well, that was a mistake. I should have kept DCAing in and had a decent bag. But you know how that goes with Hex. It's like, and then we see the journey. Hex ran up and ran back down. But yeah, I was intrigued by crypto in the early days. Just like many people. Being a mathematician, when the tech came out from Satoshi, I mean, I wasn't early enough to get in. But I did see it around 2015, 2016. I don't remember the exact day. And I thought, oh, this is interesting. But yes, you couldn't get the coins. And it's like, nah. And then it just slips away right from your mind, right? And then you see the run up in 2017, 18. It's like, holy shit, what did I miss here? And you start paying attention a little bit more. And that's when you kind of get in. It's like, damn it, the opportunity I just passed. And then we watched Richard on YouTube, and it's like, okay, this might be the opportunity that I won't miss. And that's when we got into Pulse Chain, and that's our story. Pretty typical for a lot of the OG hexagons out there. You recognize Richard at the moment just before back when it was Bitcoin Hex, and he was talking about it, and it's like, okay, I'm going to take advantage of this opportunity. And I can tell you, it's been an incredible journey in Pulse Chain.
All right. Hey guys, I have a question. Speaking of building, right? Wait. All right, you have this.
Asian of Pulse, I love it.
Also, I have this one. Also, I'm an LP farmer, right?
Yeah,
Okay. I love it too.
Oh, man.
Hex farmer.
Yeah, guys, I have a Hex logo here and some other projects. I have a question, guys. why on Pulse Chain? What's with Pulse Chain, and why are you guys in building in Pulse Chain, right?
Oh, great question. Dave, I'm going to pass that on to you because this is one of your favorite topics.
Yeah. Well, we didn't know it at the time, right? Well, Pulse Chain and Richard were that cypherpunk kind of a mentality. It's like freedom from the existing systems out there trying to control your finances. And so it's like, well, that was the early messaging. And then we watched the SEC come after Richard, and we saw what he did to defend his project. He hired some of the best lawyers that money could buy, and he put them to work, and he defeated it. Well, within that court case, there was a thing called the amicus brief. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but on the amicus brief, the legal team established Pulse Chain as a private membership association. That's a PMA. So what it does for the members of Pulse Chain is we are members of Pulse Chain. We are not buying into Pulse Chain. We're members. So it's almost like it's a trust. You know, the wealthy families of the world move their assets into trust for a reason, right? It protects them from the reach of government. Well, Pulse Chain, unbeknownst to us at the time, is a form of a trust. You are on a private blockchain, not a public blockchain. And within the amicus brief, and I don't know if Jay has that slide that he can pull up, but it does say in there that Pulse Chain is a private membership association. And so as such, your assets on Pulse Chain are outside the reach of governments. They can't come in here and grab your tokens. And not to mention that we are true DeFi. They can't go knock on somebody's door and say, "Hey, let's shut down this address," like they do over on Ethereum. Ethereum is OFAC compliant. So if the SEC or the government wants to go in, they go over, knock on Vitalik's door, and they say, "Hey, these addresses, we're going to want you to blacklist these. We don't want any transactions to happen there." So it's somewhat, it's private in that the sense that government can go in and control some of those assets. And we've seen the stories about stable coins and how Circle can go in and just turn off your wallets and say, "Okay, those tokens are no longer any good." We have freedoms on Pulse Chain that don't exist on any other chain. And so we are very fortunate that that was the outcome of the SEC case. And that's why we are so eager to continue our build on Pulse Chain.
Awesome. What do you think of multi-chain?
Well, I think if you start talking about the global trajectory of crypto, we know where it's headed. The entire world's going to be onboarded to crypto at some point. Well, every blockchain is just a ledger. It's a balance sheet. You got the assets and the debits columns on it. It just records transactions. There's not enough space on any one blockchain in the world currently that can handle the transaction volume that's going to come through. So I think most blockchains are going to do well. The question for us is which one's going to give me the most protections? Which one's going to be able to have 100% uptime? Which one is going to allow me to make sure my assets are not seizable by some outside entity? And that's why Pulse Chain, we believe, is going to do extremely well as the adoption of crypto continues and the understanding of what's happening on Pulse Chain, it being a private membership chain as opposed to a public chain.
Good point.
It's MacB and Asian on Pulse. This is a very innovative understanding of Pulse Chain. I think it's basically the open secret. It's the hidden secret in Pulse Chain. It's not fully understood yet, but there's something really special about what Dave just said, which is that private memberships give you freedoms that public chains won't be able to give you. And when we think about what's happening now, Asian on Pulse and MacB, privacy is becoming very, very important. Privacy is becoming a central narrative. People are looking for privacy. People are looking for their freedoms, not to be somehow, as Dave was saying, randomly taken away. And I think Pulse Chain is definitely going to play a role there, 100%. Also, I know both of you talk about this. Our team is not so interested about what's happening today. We're thinking 5 years from now, Asian on Pulse, MacB. We're thinking about 3 years. And I think the audience, it's very important to kind of help the audience understand that whether it's as builders or as investors, we're not building for today. We're not building for tomorrow. We're really building for the future. And when we look into the future, we're very, very confident that Pulse Chain is going to be around and it's going to be a thriving chain. So we're willing to bet, and we're betting very, very strongly on Pulse Chain. But it's important to have a very long outlook, because people can look at what's happening today and somewhat maybe get confused or get disappointed. We're not confused. We're not disappointed. We know what's happening. And as Dave was saying, um, crypto is not going to the real world. The real world is coming to crypto. And one of the big forces that will make that happen, gents, is tokenization. And we want to be there for it. And just as a it's not an exclusive, but it's something that we really don't talk a lot about. But one of our builds, all of our builds are like Lego pieces that are going to connect, and they're going to connect on one very powerful protocol, which is called Onyx. And Onyx is going to be the first real world asset platform on Pulse Chain. That is coming. This is for the Asia on Pulse community. That's coming.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's a very important, very big build, because tokenization is the probably biggest revolution in finance, and it's a blue ocean, and we want to be part of that blue ocean here on Pulse Chain. And Onyx is going to be taking advantage of that and bringing that to all Pulse Chain participants.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
That's to come. Onyx, that's to come.
Onyx. All right, that's something that will be watching for it, guys, and you might as well be coming when that thing lands on Pulse Asian.
Oh yes. Oh
All right.
yes.
You hear it first, guys, on
You
Pulse
heard
Media.
it here first on Asian on Pulse.
All right, guys. Yeah, man. I
Yes.
think privacy. Even Vitalik had been mentioning about privacy, right? Where crypto has been going, it kind of turn its from the ideals of cyberpunk ideas, right? So I think we are really going into the narrative of having privacy. Speaking about privacy, Liberty Swap using Railgun, right? So these are crucial infrastructure that might as well be to be considered, right? As you guys are also doing for Pulse Plus X on your D app, right? So it's quite
Yes.
interesting what you guys are doing, and we love to hear builders, right? We want to hear that story. Now, no one can confiscate my assets, right? I deserve. It is my right, right, to own these assets. It's an ownership, and yeah, I did pull the amicus brief, and I think Dave did mention that one also. I'm looking at it, Dave. But anyway, Asian, you have question for them, for our guest, this
I think it's pretty cool with all the things that you are building. So, because I see that on PlusX website, there's like multiple builds that is going on.
Yep.
There's like Op Token, UpX, Validator X, LPX, SmartBots, ShareX, and one more Onyx, right? So, because what I'm doing here, basically in Asia as well, I'm also trying to build. I'm also trying to bring more builders from the traditional world to blockchain. So that's what I'm doing here as
Fantastic.
well. Yeah. So I think because we as a day one Hex OG, we love what was built and the opportunity and the miracle that has happened to us. And well, we are here because of Richard Hart, and that's how we got started initially, and of course the ideal, right? So please enlighten us more of like what's being built, and see how can we somehow like form a strategy into growing it together.
Sounds
Absolutely.
fantastic.
And you have the Validator X page up here, and I'll point you over to the tile right there where it says status, and you'll see that the rate that you're getting right now for uPulse is 1.167 pulse. When we started this, the Validator X launched January 27th of last year, so we're almost on our 1 year anniversary. And when the when the Validator X site went up, and it's a liquid staking pool. Most people don't have the hardware. They don't want to pay for the internet. They don't want to have to babysit their hardware to earn a yield being a validator. And this is a liquid staking pool. So you take your Pulse tokens, and there was no minimum, there's no maximum, there's no staking requirements. So if you have just a million Pulse, you can take your million Pulse, you can come over here, you can stake them. And if you did that on January 27th, you now, instead of having one Pulse or a million Pulse, you have 1.167 times that. So we had a 16.7% so far, and it's not our 1 year anniversary yet, but the APR so far is looking like it's trending to be almost 70% APR for those people that joined on January 27th last year. They now have 17%, or they will soon, they'll have 17% more Pulse in their wallet than they did back when they started a year ago. So Validator X is a very easy staking platform. You deposit, and what you do when you deposit is you mint uPulse. That's your receipt token. I'm sure you guys have, a lot of members in your community who are looking like, hey, how do I get a yield on my Pulse? I got this bag of Pulse. I'm waiting for the X's. What do I do with it? Well, don't let it just sit in your wallet doing nothing. You can go out and buy the hardware and be a validator yourself and earn a yield, or you can put it into a liquid staking protocol like we offer here. And within our liquid staking protocol, we have, I think when I checked yesterday, it was 4,065 validators running. And all of the yield that those validators earn, and there's three sources of yield. There's the attestation yield, there's the block building yield, and then there's the confirmation yielding. So when somebody builds a block, your validator confirms it. So, or no, there's a sequencing yield. Sorry, the attestation yield was one of the three. You get all of that yield minus 9%. We take 9% of the yield that this thing earns, and that's what pays the electricity bill, the infrastructure. So 91% of the yield made by a validator is given to the users, and that's why our yield is higher than any other liquid validating in all of crypto. We can't find another validator system out there that provides a better APR. In fact, you can't even get that APR if you're running one on your own in your bedroom or your office, because within our system, we make a new validator every day. We make enough yield in here that it compounds. And so you're getting another validator and another validator and another, and you're a part owner of that validator by being a participant within the ecosystem. So, because of the compounding effect of having this much mass working as a validator, it really benefits the end user. So, when you're getting an almost 17% being a validator, when everybody else who's running a validator in their office is getting, maybe 9-10%, and they got to pay the hardware costs, the electricity costs, the only thing you have here is smart contract risk, which happens with any DApp that's out there. You do have smart contract risk, and hopefully we know what we're doing. And I tell you what, our security is better than anything that you see in crypto. But yes, the yield, this thing's, the 1 year anniversary is coming up, and it's 17% yield. And that was our first build. That was our introduction to, hey, we want to help the Pulse Chain community. This is a way we can do it, where the holders of Pulse Chain, while we're waiting for the bull run to happen, have a place to park their Pulse and earn a nice yield. So this was build number one. Well, it wasn't build number one, but it was our major build. Our first build was Smart Vaults. But this is our introductory to our ecosystem. Jay, back to you.
Thank you, Dave. Asian on Pulse, something that you will see as a red thread to so many of our builds is we want to make sure that the user gets as much yield as possible. So when you think about PlusX, one way to think about PlusX is that we are a yield ecosystem. Our products want to give you yield, yield, yield. They want to make you money. They want to allow your tokens to work for you. So right now, people have Pulse, and crypto is going through possibly an extended cycle, or maybe it's going through a longer bear market. Asian on Pulse, MacB. Well, what are you going to do with the tokens in your wallet? I think the audience really should be thinking along those lines. In other words, if crypto is not going to have its run in the next couple of months, if we do need to wait, I think it's important to be thinking, okay, what do we, and also Asian, if you're going to build, I think it's very important to be thinking, look, people are going to have a number of years where they're going to need to wait. So what can you build that's going to benefit people? Well, our answer to that is, let's build something that's going to give that's going to allow people to utilize the tokens in their wallet in a very secure but very productive way. And Validator X is one such build. But Validator X is the first. Then there's also LPX and UDEX. But to come to UDEX, we really need to talk about LPX. I just want to say
Absolutely.
from the start, look at that title. LPX is yield on any token. So, anytime that you think LPX is how to make money on our tokens. MacB and Asian on Pulse, do you have the Moon token? Is that correct?
Moonex, yes, Moonex.
Monex token. It's the Monex
Exactly.
token.
Exactly. LPX is a way for holders of Moonex, right, to be able to make yield on that token. So LPX is empowering every single token on Pulse Chain and finding a very safe and secure way of making that yield. But we want to unpack that a little bit because it's not like a farm, right? There isn't an emission of a token. It's a very different approach to yield. And I'm going to share screen.
Yeah, I
And
think
have-
it's better if you have screen to share. Yeah,
Sure.
you can visualize.
let me- yeah, so you guys can visualize it well.
Sure, you can share.
I don't know.
You can share screen, brother. Yeah, I will do it on my end. I will post it.
Am I sharing screen? Okay, here it is. Share?
Yeah, we
Alright.
were talking as Jay's pulling this up. We were talking about Hex and being early on Hex within LPX. The Hex yield that you can get over there. Let's say you're in the Hex die.
Come again.
Dave, you got cut
Dave?
out. Dave, you're cut. I think Dave got cut out.
Yeah.
All right. Dave,
Okay.
Okay. Go ahead,
Dave?
Jiggle.
Okay. Dave. Okay. 1 second. Dave is coming right back.
Sure.
So let's talk a little bit about LPX. So basically what Dave was talking about is just to give you a sense of what are the yields on LPX. These are just some of the pools that are there. There's a Hex die pool that is giving you an APR of 18.26. If you hold eHex and Hex, Asian on Pulse, you were talking about Hex, well, you can get 25.32% on LPX. These are LPX pools that are currently working. Now, here's what's interesting. You will be able to, in about 2 weeks, start any pool of your choosing. You can have a Moonex die pool, you can have a Moonex Hex pool, and by depositing Moonex, and by the way, here's what's interesting. You would be able to deposit Moonex single-sidedly. Single-sidedly. In other words, you will be able to go just with Moonex into an LPX pool, and it will start to create yield. I think Dave is just texting me, and he's trying to get back in. MacB and Asian on Pulse, are you seeing him backstage?
Yeah, let me check on him. And yeah, not yet. Not yet.
Not yet. Okay.
But cool.
So for Moonex holders, you will be able to either start a public pool or people will be able to start their own private LPX pools with any what we call anchor token. The anchor token is the token of choice where you want to receive yield. So you can have, for example, a Moonex Hex where the yield is being given to you in Hex. A Moonex die pool where the yield is being given to you in die. A Moonex Pulse pool where the yield is being given to you in Pulse. You will be able to make any pairing of your choosing. That's kind of the incredible flexibility and power of these LPX pools. So the yields look very interesting. I believe MacB and Asian on Pulse, correct me if I'm wrong, right now, what APR is Hex staking giving you?
It's I think 1%, 1 point something.
It's pretty low.
Hex taking
1%.
1%. Yeah, with the
Yeah, it's
market
quite low.
quite low. Yeah, indeed, man. It's quite low.
Yeah. So yeah, these pools are okay. Dave is in the green room.
Okay, cool. I'll pull out Dave. Dave, welcome back. Dave, coming
Thank
from.
you, thank you, thank you. Sorry about that. I'm sitting here, and all of a sudden, I'm sitting in the dark because the power in the neighborhood went out. It's like, what the hell was that?
I thought
But
it's
yeah,
just
we're back.
here. Here in the Philippines, we have frequent power failures. Sadness to say, I thought it's just
Yeah,
here. Anyway, you were saying Jay Goldman, brother.
yeah. No,
Yeah. So
I'm in the dark. It's like, wait a minute, I was saying something. Sorry about that, gentlemen.
all good. We were talking about the APRs, right? And I was explaining
Yeah.
to our friends that very soon with LPX 3.1, they will be able to start any LPX pool of their choosing, including the MoonX token, and they'll be able to pair
Absolutely.
the MoonX token with DAI. They'll be able to pair the MoonX token with Hex. They'll be able to pair the MoonX token with PlusX. That anchor token is going to indicate how you're going to be earning your yield. But I think we're getting a little bit ahead of us. Probably the audience wants to know, so how do you make the yield? What exactly is the mechanic? Because this is unlike a farm that gives you a perpetually inflating emission. It's not stake and then get an emission token. It's very different. And I'm gonna throw it back to you, Dave, to talk a little bit about how LPX works.
Is it something to relate to the market making part?
Yes, exactly. Asian on Pulse.
Yeah.
That's exactly how LPX works. And why don't I think Dave and I have a saying. We love an image speaks very, very loud. People can see an image and very quickly understand what's the story of LPX. This is the Hex LPX. Asian on Pulse, you love Hex. This is actually the LPX working on Hex. Dave, let's unpack this image and tell the story of what LPX is and how does it make its yield.
Yeah. So LPX is a market making program, and if you're in traditional finance, you understand how market making works. These people with large bags, they go out there and they on centralized exchanges, they have bids and asks. They set market orders, and they set, let's say the price of Hex is 2 zeros and a 3. And so they'll say, hey, you know what? I'll sell a little bit for 2 zeros and a 3. But I'm also in the market to buy. I'm ready to buy if it drops down to 2 zeros and say a 2.7. There's this range between the bid and ask, and they're trying to make the market, and that's what LPX is doing. It's taking your tokens. For example, Coffee has Top Hat on here. I think most of us know what Crypto Coffee is. He has a large bag of his Top Hat community is using LPX, and they're earning about 12%, and they're earning that 12% in DAI and additional Top Hat. So like this Hex pair here, you can see the red ones. So what happens is you see the trend of the market. The market's going up. So what's a market maker do when the trend is going higher? They take a little bit off the table, right? They sell a little bit of their bag so that they can stack the dry powder. So when the market does dip, they've got the dry powder to come back in and reacquire those tokens plus some. And that's what you can see happening with the Hex algorithm here that we have working with the smart logic engine. It doesn't stop the pump. You can see that it's pumping up and it's selling just small amounts of your bag. And then when the market dips, because markets are volatile in crypto, it reacquires, and it does that. And that's where the yield comes in. That's where you're getting that 23% additional Hex, is because your tokens are now working for you. They're not sitting passively in your wallet, or they're not in a illiquid staking protocol that's making single digit yield. You're actually part of the market making, and you're purchasing Hex at a discount. So if you can jump to that next slide, look at what happens in a downtrend here.
1 second. I wanna just add a couple of things, which is that, as Dave was saying, the yield is done through smart trading, and LPX will only trade when it's in profit. This is very important for everyone to know. It has a built-in profit logic that has taken years to develop. This wasn't just a quick our dev started back in 2017, and they've developed an incredibly robust trading algorithm. So every single trade on LPX is a profitable trade. And by the way, we have a Telegram room that has all the trades. So any audience member can actually download that and get all kinds of stats, and you'll be able to see that every LPX trade is a profitable trade. That's, I think, important. The other
Yeah.
thing
In
that
fact,
I
Jay,
want to
just to
highlight,
give them a number, 80,970 trades to date, because I'm looking at our dashboard right now, and a total volume of over $17 million is ran through LPX. And every one of those transactions is, as Jay is saying, profitable. Sorry, Jay, back to you.
no, all good. The other thing, gents, that we want to share is when people look at the image, they assume that, oh, wow, look at all those red dots. LPX must be creating the top. And I want to highlight something that Dave said, which is important. LPX responds to the market. If there's buyers, as we go into the range that's out of what we call the no trade zone, we're going to come back to that. LPX starts selling a little, but this is important. LPX is not creating tops or making bottoms. LPX is responding to the market. So if you had a token that had no volume, LPX is not buying and selling. LPX is responsive to the market. That's very, very important. Now, it also has incredible capabilities on the tokens that you love. For example, let's say that there are people in the Moonix token that would like to take profit. We're all in crypto. We all want to take profit. Well, this is what LPX can do, and I'm gonna throw it back to Dave. This is just a hex chart, but you can visualize what's happening here. Go ahead, Dave. Unpack this for us.
Yeah, so this is a downtrend, and you can see what, you stacked a bunch of dry powder. That's what LPX is doing for you. It's, as the market trend up, you see a few reds in there. It's like, hey, the market's trending up. Let's get some more dry powder in case it, falls back down. Because in crypto, we know what happens. There are sellers. And what LPX is going to do is it's going to allow those people to sell, push the price down, and then it starts acquiring those cheap tokens, trying to set a higher floor, trying to push the price higher. And when it does start to trend, when after LPX is grabbing it and the trend is starting to go up again, it's like, okay, well, let's grab a little bit of dry powder. So in case the market decides to turn back around, we have the dry powder to come back in and grab additional tokens. So what's happening to the users of LPX is they're vacuuming tokens off of the retail supply. So in the V2 pools that exist out there, by using LPX, your community is taking the tokens and acquiring more. So you can see over here on this hex chart, the LPX did, in fact, you can see the hex when it purchased 197 million hex and it sold 196 million. So you can see it's vacuuming. So it's price positive for the token because it's acquiring more tokens off the market. And, and not to mention that they still had, when we made this chart back on January 5th for the hex conference, they still had $16,000 in dry powder waiting to buy additional dips if the market was going to go lower.
Yes.
So LPX is a net positive for both the token and for the user. It's not a negative. There have been some people that would like to say, oh, it's a V3 sell wall. Well, in a V3 sell wall, what's happening is once those tokens get sold, the user usually extracts that and he's gone. Whereas LPX is taking the dry powder and waiting for opportunity so that the token could get reacquired, stacking more for the end user, and it's not a net positive. And one of the important things about LPX is that your tokens are not accessible to the public. They're not sitting in some pool where they're a punching bag for some community member out there to attack your tokens. Your tokens are sitting off to the side waiting for an opportunity. They are not on the market in a passive sense. It's active liquidity. It's like if you were a day trader and you were sitting at home and all of your tokens are in your MetaMask wallet or your Internet Money wallet, and it's like, hey, there's an opportunity. I'm going to go sell a little bit and then buy back in. The tokens that are sitting in your wallet are not available to everybody else. It's only actionable by you hitting confirm on the transaction. And that's the same thing that's happening here with LPX. Your tokens are sitting in a smart contract, not accessible to the public, but when an opportunity for profit arises, the LPX will act for you. And the
Yes.
nice thing about the no trade zone, the bids and the asks, it's dynamic. So as the market moves, your bid and your ask also move. So let's say you just sold a little bit of your Moon X token. The next sell will be higher. It will not have cascading sells. It won't sell down, sell down, sell down like you see in some trading bots that are out there. It will only sell up higher. So if you just ended up selling, $100 worth of Moon X in your LPX at some price, it won't sell again unless the price is higher. So the price has to move up for it to sell another $100 worth, and then it has to move higher, and then it'll sell another 100, and then it's waiting for that opportunity to re-inject that money and that $300 to come back into to acquire more Moon X tokens and take them off the market and reward the user of LPX.
So does that? Let me ask a question to MacB and to Asian on Pulse. Does this make sense? LPX is a smart liquidity engine, but it's also a smart yield engine. And we want the audience to understand that when they see those three letters, LPX, that they understand this is about making very secure and smart yield on any token of your choice. The mechanics that Dave and I are talking about, those are nice to know. They're not must knows, right? LPX is
Yeah.
going to work regardless. If you look at the stats, LPX just continues making you yield, and it's very safe yield because the yield, gents, you're not getting in an inflating token.
Yeah, and by inflation token, you
That
know what Richard did with the farms, right? He's passing out the ink token to give them a yield. Well, that yield is only valuable if the ink token stays high. If the ink token takes a dump, then all of those free ink tokens you got from the yield, they didn't benefit you well. Whereas the yield in LPX is coming to you in more Moon X tokens or in DAI if you happen to pair it up with DAI. So, some of the more prominent OGs they're using LPX because they see the benefit to their community and to themselves in terms of getting a real yield. And to Jay's point about does the user need to know all of the nuts and bolts of how LPX
Oh,
works? No. The answer is no. You can click on any one of those pools, join the pool, and you will earn a yield similar to Validator X. You don't need to know how validation works, and you don't need to understand the complete components of it. At the end of the day, it's like, hey, I put my pulse in there, and a year later, I got 17% more pulse. As long as it's secure and you understand what you're doing, you're
yes.
good to go.
Hey,
So go ahead, MacB.
yeah, guys. Yeah, when you try to mention about putting on the LPX, the single-sided liquidity, is anyone can just add that Moonex, for example, Moonex token on the LPX D app?
That will happen, MacB, in about. Dave and I are a little bit cautious to giving you exact time, but likely in, I hate to say it, 2 more weeks, because that's a kind of a running thing with all builders, right? We're
Yeah,
all builders. We keep saying 2 more weeks or 3 more weeks. But yes, we're literally in the testing phase of LPX 3.1. LPX is going through phases of builds, and these are not just random builds. These are programmed, thought through strategic builds. What we've done is we first launched public pools that the team configured. We're now going to launch the new and latest version of LPX where anyone, you
anyone.
MacB, you Asian, any Moonex holder will be able to launch their own LPX pool. And by the way, Dave, myself, all the team members will be able to help you at any point how to configure the pool so that it meets your goals. Also, I will put out there, if there's enough Moon X holders that would like a public pool, this is an exclusive. We will make it happen for the Moon X community. So you can have individual pools, but we will make it happen that if there's enough collective interest, we can have a public pool, and that we'll discuss with you guys what are the settings for that pool. But yes, to answer your question, in 3 weeks, anyone will be able to have their
Awesome.
own yield bearing MoonX LPX pool with the yield that they choose: die, hex, pulse. And Dave and I can guide you as to what are probably going to be some of the better choices to get more yield. But that's technicals. The more important thing is, wow, isn't it amazing that now I can actually start using the tokens in my wallet in a very safe and secure way while I wait through this bear market?
Uh,
LPX.
LPX to the moon, brother.
LP,
May I? Yeah, may I add on that one, right? So, can you try to expound on the, because you have like hex and die, right? How about the impermanent loss that's gonna happen? Does that impact LPX or its users, or should I?
excellent question. The professor Dave, this is one of his favorite
All
topics.
right,
There you
We're in
go.
the
there's
slides
the
to talk.
mathematician in the
Listen,
house.
Yeah. Yeah.
Impermanent
Professor
loss, right?
Lahat, and this slide is the impermanent loss slide. So I'm gonna blow
Right.
this up a little.
Yeah.
Go for it, Dave.
Yeah. So yeah, the reason most of us don't participate in providing liquidity isn't because it's complicated to join. It's pretty easy to go over to the PulseX and join a liquidity pool, but we don't do it for a couple of reasons. Number one, let's say you have a bag of MoonX and you want to join the MoonX die pool. Well, you have to sell half of your MoonX so that you can have the other side of the liquidity pair. So it's like, well, I don't really want to sell my tokens to get the other side. Well, with LPX, you have the option of creating a pool that has single-sided entry. You can come in with just your MoonX bag. You don't have to have the other side. So that's a major benefit to LPX. These, because the people providing liquidity and as market makers, they don't have huge bags of stables on the side. They got their tokens. The founders came to our CEO and said, "Hey, I got this new project. Can you go get me some volume so that people recognize it? Can you make sure that I'm extracting a little bit of value? I need you to sell a little bit so I can pay my devs." And so they gave to our CEO this list of tasks that they wanted, and they came in for the most part single sided, and they build a bag of stables to help continue to market that token. Well, LPX allows you to come in single sided, just fund it with just your MoonX tokens. That's one advantage. The other big advantage is the impermanent loss, as you're talking about, MacB. Impermanent loss is a scary thing in traditional V2 V3 liquidity, because what happens is your tokens are being sold, and if there's a run on your tokens, you end up with the other side, and you may not want the other side. Well, what LPX is doing is every dip, it's reacquiring those tokens for you. And you can see with the chart that Jay has up here, this thing's been running since June of last year. LPX went live June of last year. And you can see that with the PulseX, for example, the PulseX, it did sell 61 billion PulseX tokens. I mean, 60 billion, but it bought back 61 billion. There's a net positive gain. There's no impermanent loss if you have more tokens than you started with, and you have $14,000 in DAI. And so what you see with
Dave, 1 second.
with
I think
LPX, yes,
1 second. I think this is MacB. This is important what Dave just said, and I want to underline it. If you look at the pools, and by the way, we can do this with almost any pool right now in LPX, that the result is that you have more tokens with DAI reserve. There is no impermanent loss in these particular pools. And what we're seeing is, rather than impermanent loss, we have a gain in yield and a gain in tokens. So currently, LPX is actually not just minimizing, it's completely avoiding impermanent loss. It doesn't mean that that won't happen. It means that currently, and Dave, if you can unpack that so that
Yep.
people understand what they're seeing. What they're seeing right now is 4 pools that have 0 impermanent loss.
correct. And what happens is, let's say you jump in and you have some PulseX tokens today, and you're going to go start a new single entry LPX in 3 weeks when this thing is live and you have the opportunity. When the price of PulseX starts trending higher, you will see your tokens starting to get sold. The amount of tokens you have get sold so that you can have the dry powder. Now, some people panic. It's like, oh, no, I don't want to be out because Richard's going to 100x my token tomorrow. And so there's this impermanent, mentality of like, oh no, I'm losing out. But the smartest way to acquire dry powder is to sell on the uptrend. And where does everybody sell currently? They see the market dropping and they say, oh, well, shit, I got to get some dry powder. And they start selling on the downtrend. That's not where you need to start selling if you're going to be a real market maker. If you're going to be a real market maker and you're going to put your tokens to work for you, when the trend is higher, that's when you start taking a little bit off the table and you stack dry powder so that you can capitalize that on the way down. And so this is the smart way to be a market maker, not the emotional way that we see most people in crypto react. Because look at how many people have exited here recently in crypto. On the way down, they're exiting. That makes no damn sense at all to a market maker. That's when you take your dry powder and you start accumulating. So LPX takes all of the emotion out of trading. And the only emotion that we have seen is that when a trend starts going up, people will say, oh no, it's taking my tokens and it's selling a little bit. Well, that's what you want it to do. But we got to flip that switch in the mentality of people who are providing liquidity as a market making tool, because you need the dry powder to reaccumulate on the dips. And so yes, there's temporary and permanent loss, but what we've witnessed over almost a year of execution is if you keep doing these little micro cycles, and we call them micro cycles, where you sell a little bit and then you buy back and you buy back more, those micro cycles start accumulating enough so that they combat the trend, and you end up, as you see with this chart, you end up with a little bit more tokens, but you also have this stack of dry powder that now if you wanted to extract something to go buy cars, tires for the car, you don't have to go sell your tokens. You have some dry powder within the protocol that you could probably claim your yield and go use that and not hurt the community. Because at some point, everybody's going to sell. Well, this is the smart way to sell, because you're not hurting the token and you're not crashing the price down. You're acquiring some stables as the price trends higher.
So, MacB, to your question, we're noticing right now that LPX is absolutely beating in permanent loss. That's the kind of simple, and we can give you details as Dave has given you, but and that's not to say that there won't be impermanent loss, but LPX over time truly diminishes impermanent loss. And you could see all the pools, I think Asian on Pulse just put there, at lpx.plusx.app. You will be able to see all the pools there.
And Jay, I'm gonna pivot just for a second, because MacB was talking about, in Asia, we're talking about UDEX. And this is where UDEX is able to make swaps and have zero fees to the user of UDEX. Because what happens here is the people that are buying and selling using LPX, if you can go back to one of the price charts, Jay, the deck screener charts, you can see that there's profit being made by the people in LPX. They sold on the red, they're buying back on the green. They made a profit. So when somebody comes into UDEX and they want to make a purchase, they will purchase the tokens off of one of these red dots. The LPX will sell to the person in UDEX they're selling to them. And the LPX provider is the one who's paying the fee for the transaction. So if you had $100 worth of DAI and you go into UDEX and you want to buy $100 worth of MoonX, you will actually come away with $100 worth of MoonX. You won't come out with $99.70 because you paid a 0.3% liquidity fee to the liquidity providers. The users of LPX pay the liquidity fees, if you want to assume there's a pay, but they're not even paying a fee. What they're doing is some of the profits that they have are allowing you to get a zero fee swap. So that's where UDEX is going to be able to come in and have zero transaction fee and zero liquidity fee for those people using UDEX. And that will happen as soon as we get the complete LPX build completed and we have all of the functionality of LPX built and distributed to the public.
Yes.
All right, guys.
Any other questions about LPX or UDEX? What do you think, MacB?
Guys. Sorry. Someone is asking. It's hard, or should I say, the link of the Telegram link that is being posted is expired. It's not working.
TG.
Let me.
Someone messaged me that the link that is being posted on X is not working or
But this one,
That
expired.
one right there.
TG
Tele-
tg.plusx.app right here.
All right.
TG, that is the Telegram. And MacB, we'd love to see you there. Asian on Pulse, we'd love to see you there. If you have any questions, Dave was an educator for decades. I have been
35 years,
coaching.
brother.
Yeah, I've been coaching teams for 20, 25 to 26 years. So we are happy to answer questions and walk people through any of our protocols. So if you have any questions, please stop by. So tg.plusx.app, and the front end to LPX is lpx.plusx.app. And the reason why we have this link, tg.plusx.app, is because we don't want people to enter into any kind of weird scam rooms. We really do our very best to protect our community. And that's why we have the tg.plusx.app.
Yeah, guys, but it's
Okay.
not working
Yeah.
on my end. It's true. The
Correct.
TG dot plus X dot app is not working on my end. I'm trying to get on chat on Telegram, but it's not working, guys.
Oh, really? tg.plusx.app is not working?
Yes,
Yep.
it's not.
On your
Anything.
Yeah, maybe you could look this one out, guys.
But anyway, Jay or Dave, here's some question that I would like to just clarify. So I think, right, for any token owners, one of the biggest hurdles is that on market making, right? Whether it's on centralized exchange or on decentralized exchange. So I assume that LPX and soon to launch 3.1 and also UDEX, it is here to also somehow address to the problem. So what are the problems that I'm seeing in many of the token owners out there? Because most of the tokens launchers out there, they are startups, right? So if you get them to engage a professional market maker team out there, it's going to be costly on the monthly cost, and it requires like heavy liquidity, and the charges taken away by the market maker is going to be a lot, right? So I assume that any token launchers soon with 3.1 going to live after 2 weeks, all right, and also UDEX coming to life, I assume that every token owners, they are able to provide one side of the liquidity in the form of their tokens, and maybe like the MM side could provide the stables or Pulse or Hex, some of the tokens which has great liquidity and great volumes, to somehow increase the transaction volume and also to create a healthy candles on the market. Am I right?
Absolutely. In fact, we just had a discussion with Coffee the other day about his tokenomics, and his token, he has it on there, and it's ran through 3,600 transactions for him, and it's done well over, I think it's like $600,000 in volume on his token. And he's, it's a very small meme token top hat, but yeah, this is a perfect tool for a new token launcher, somebody who's coming in, a founder who wants to establish the volume and the metrics and the security for their token, because LPX will help build a floor price, and it helps push the price of the token higher because you are vacuuming tokens off of retail supply. So by doing that and having that dry powder protect the price, this is a perfect place for somebody with a new token to acquire those market making skills without paying that $20,000 a month to a professional market maker.
Cool.
Yeah, and by the way, Asian, as Dave just said, our team started to work with ICO projects back in 2017, and they were getting a minimum of $20,000 to $30,000 a month for market making services, basically smart liquidity providing that was going to give them yield on their token. Again, we want to come back to the theme. LPX is yield on your token. LPX is yield on your token. That's right now, LPX is free.
Yep.
Free. There is no fee. There's no deposit fee. And by the way, there's no withdrawal fee. If for whatever reason you want to withdraw your liquidity from LPX, free.
Anytime.
There is no penalty anytime, and you don't have to lock it up at any time. That is a security guarantee.
Yep.
People have come into LPX, come out, come in, come out, free, zero cost to you.
Well, the gas fee for the confirming the transaction, we can't change that part.
Well, I mean, that's negligible. There is no fee that the protocol is charging you.
Cool.
Yeah,
Yeah. So some of the question becomes, well, then how are you guys benefiting from this? When you set your bid and your ask, and let's say you set the range at like a 5% range, it's like between your bid and your ask, because that's one of the settings you have the option to decide on if you're going to set up your own LPX. The public LPXs, that's been decided for you. We have like a 2.34% between our standard, bid and ask on our LPX. But if, as a builder, you want to come in and you want to set up your own, because let's say you set a 5% no trade zone where the market's going sideways, so your LPX is doing nothing, it's waiting for a market move, and then it reacts. Well, the way we're compensated for running the system is we will take a small portion of that no trade zone. So your profit, if you have let's say a 3.91% no trade zone, 3% goes to you, 0.91% of that profitable trade will go to pay for the protocol fees. So yeah, there's no fee from the user. The way the LPX protocol is compensated for all the work that we've put in and all the dev fees and everything, we take a small portion of the profit. And here's the other thing, that a 10% of all proceeds from LPX, out of that profit, go to buying and burning up token, and 10% go to buying and burning UPX token. So that's where our two tokens come into play. This is not a token. We're not selling tokens. If you want to own UP and UPX, they do have some utility. They are being rewarded from the builds we're making, but we're not out here shilling you our token. We want your community to keep buying more MoonX for you guys. But if they would like to be interested,
Yes.
if they have some interest in what UP and UPX do, they are the beneficiaries of the builds that we are making.
guys, you can mention your token, by the way, in here.
Okay, well,
Well,
appreciate it.
it's okay.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Guys,
it's
the
fine, but we,
yeah, man. You can talk about
we're
We will
to be very, very transparent. Yeah, it is really it's a team decision. Our focus is PlusX. We want every token on Pulse Chain to win, and we want to build best-in-class protocols that make people's bags grow and their tokens win. That is our focus, 100%. And that's happening with Validator X. We barely make any money out of that, and that's why it's so lucrative to stakers of Pulse. It's happening on LPX. It's going to happen on UDEX. It's going to happen on MacB and Asian. Would you like to hear a little bit more about our roadmap, because you're both builders and we have a couple more builds?
Awesome. Let's do it.
yeah, let's do that. Let's do that, brother. We want
Okay.
sure, man.
So there's UDEX. Dave mentioned UDEX. UDEX is a UDEX for you. It is a zero fee swap DEX. And then there's going to be LoanX. Now, we don't have a lot of details on LoanX. Actually, Dave, can you share something about UDEX expert mode or not yet? I don't know if we can.
Yeah, well, the UI,
the
UI for UDEX,
the
UI for UDEX is going to come in two formats. There's going to be, and it's going to look a little bit more like a traditional market making DEX. And so you will have like a pro version. It looks more like a Binance or, a bid and ask kind of a limit order type of a DEX. That's what our UDEX looks. And then there's the simple user version that looks more like a Uniswap or a Pitius, where it's like, oh, it's just a swap tile, and I can go in there and I can swap from one token to another. So there are going to be an upgraded, for the more sophisticated, decentralized finance user, there will be a front end for UDEX that has a lot more functionality than just, hey, I want to swap from DAI into MoonX.
Yes, incredible functionality. So there's LoanX. LoanX is going to be a zero interest loaning protocol that is not a liquidity fork. MacB and Asian on Pulse, right now, most of the loan protocols are liquidity forks. And sometimes they struggle with, actually, Dave,
sometimes.
Yeah, this is one of your topics, Dave.
Yeah.
We're really working very, that's happening right now in parallel. And we don't have a lot of details to share right now. We would love to come and also talk about Loanex, but we are building a zero interest loaning protocol that is going to have some really amazing features. So that's also, and then of course the crown jewel, Onex,
But
which
how
is
does it going to get? I mean, how will it be different with liquid loans?
Dave,
Some of
you
the
want to
major
dive in a little bit into that?
some of the major differentiality is going to be within the redemption mechanism, because what happens with the liquidity forks, we see the redemption function as being the downfall of the fork. The people that go in to redeem, they can come in and have nefarious actions within LoanX. I think what you're going to see with us is, and here's something we didn't mention about UDEX, but the power of LPX allows us to do so much better for the end user than what we have with what we currently see out there in decentralized finance. LPX, when you go in and you use UDEX, you are protected from all MEV, and I don't know if your community is familiar with MEV, but it's called maximum extractable value. And so what you see in there is you'll have, I don't want to call them nefarious actors. I don't know what the correct term is, but we see opportunists out there that will look at the mempool within a decentralized system, and they will say, hey, there's an opportunity for me to go in here and scrape some profit at the expense of the users who's trying to make a transaction. And they have several different names for them, sandwich bots and front running bots and what they have out there. Within LPX and UDEX, you have MEV protection. You know that nobody out there is going to extract value from your transaction. So with MEV protection and OFAC protection within LPX, nobody can attack you. And to that point, arbitrage, we all know what arbitrage, or many of your viewers will know what arbitrage. LPX goes and balances out pools for the entire Pulse chain ecosystem, and that arbitrage comes back to the users of LPX. So with LPX, not only are you a market maker, but you also have the benefit of sharing in the profit of our arbitrage. Because as we balance out pools, you have two different yields you're making. You have the maker yield, which is your market making yield, but you also get a share of the arbitrage yields that our internal systems are running to the benefit of the LPX users. And because we're an in-house, LPX, the liquidity sits in-house, UDEX has that MEV protection. And that MEV protection allows you to know that your trade isn't getting scraped by arbitrage bots from the outside. So as a UDEX, so now I'm going to go back to OwnX. Why is our OwnX platform going to be superior in my mind and our team's mind to those of the outside? Wouldn't you want if you have an asset that you're tokenizing, wouldn't you want it to have arbitrage protection and MEV protection if it's being traded? You don't want an arbitrage bot to own part of your apartment building if you happen to tokenize your apartment building and they get it for free. You want the people who are investing in your apartment building to want to own that apartment building. And so by providing OwnX as a moated place to where you launch your tokenized asset, you now know that nobody's getting a free piece of your asset through arbitrage or through MEV extraction. They actually have to want your token in order to acquire it. And so OwnX is going to have a unique situation in that those individuals on the outside who are looking to tokenize, they get so much more protection by tokenizing on Pulse Chain and within our ecosystem, because they know that, first of all, the security and the privacy that we talked about with Pulse Chain being a private, and the government can't come in and seize their tokenized assets. And then they get the advantage of not having arbitragers owning a piece of their real estate or their business plan or whatever it is they tokenized. So OwnX is going to have features that no other tokenized asset platform will have on any of the other EVM chains. So we're really excited about what we're building for the tokenized world, because we built this moat around all of the assets we have within the PlusX ecosystem.
Yes. So gents, just to let the audience know, next step, LPX 3.1. LPX 3.1 will allow anyone to start their own yield-bearing pools on the LPX protocol. And that's coming within, sorry guys, the next 2 or 3 weeks. It is definitely coming. We would be more than happy to come back and kind of show people how to start their own solo pools. We would love to start some Moonex pools, absolutely, and create some settings that are going to help people make very, very nice yields. So that's coming up. And then right after that, we are going to be, we go, there's a very interesting, actually, this is important. There is a mode on LPX, which are managed pools. Managed pools will allow managers, for example, Asian on Pulse. Let's say that you want to start a managed Moonex pool, like a Moonex die pool, where you are the manager of the pool and you will be able to modify the settings as the market changes. You can earn a fee on managed pools. You'll be able to set a fee, or both MacB and you will be able to set a fee on your managed pool and be able to earn from the yield. In other words, participants in your pool are not paying you directly to join the pool, be able to earn a fee from the performance of the pool. And that's coming right after Solo LPX, which is how to, we're now going to have the possibility for people to start managed pools and invite their friends, invite their family, invite their community to the managed pools. That's going to be very, very interesting. And we want to just make an invitation to anyone in the Pulse Asian community who loves to provide liquidity, who wants to make passive income by managing an LPX pool, because they will be able to do it. They're going to have a very powerful tool, and that's coming.
Awesome.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay,
That's
so
that's the next step.
yeah, just a quick question. So for managing pools, right? Just now you did mention that for the in-house pools, there's a arbitrage yield that will pour into for any participants of LPX, right? So let's say the managing pools part. Let's say I'm here to set up a few liquidity pools like Moonex Die or maybe my PulseX pools, right? So any yield that we could generate from here, we can also extract the yield to. Can we also do one setting where we can extract the yield to maybe in a way buy and burn Moonex using the yield?
Yeah, so what you're talking about is something similar to our Validator X strategy, right? Where we take the yield within Validator X, and you can automate it to go and buy and burn Moon X token if that's what you wanted to do, or a portion. You don't even have to use all of the yield; you can use a portion of it. We don't currently have on our roadmap to build a kind of a LPX strategy to where you can do that, but it's not outside of the realm of what we may do once we get the final build out. It's like, you know what, let's go back and enter that so that we can automate that portion so they don't have to go in and physically claim. And that's one of the nice things about LPX. Like with V2, you don't get to claim any yield. You have to actually remove your liquidity to get yield. With V3, they have a claimable yield. Well, with LPX, our yield is claimable. So, and here's the beautiful part. You can set it up to where it's like, nope, I want to do like 80% compound of my yield and only 20% claimable. So you have the ability within the settings as the person designing the LPX is how much of your yield do you want compounded? How much do you want to go into the claimable basket so that you can hit claim? So we have because what our devs did is, they've been market making since 2017. They said, let's look at what's existing out in the liquidity world and what components do we want to keep? What do we want to get rid of? And how can we optimize this for the end user? And that's where LPX was born out of. It's like, okay, we know how to market make. Can we automate this so that the users of DeFi can benefit from the same systems we gathered all of our years of experience? And can we develop that and give that out to the members of Pulse Chain? And that's what we've done.
Awesome. Glad to know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as Jay was talking about, I'm gonna jump back onto.
Thank you, guys.
I'm gonna jump back in real quick.
1 second.
Okay.
Let's MacB, did you have a question before we continue?
Yeah, I was just saying that these are great utilities that the audience, or should I say people who are entering into DeFi can use, right? So yeah, man, great work, awesome job. With regards with you, your capacity in doing this arbitrage trade and market making skills that you guys are doing with your devs, right? So it's quite unique, and the utility is kind of, this is my first time that I've heard this kind of utility on such a platform like LPX.
Yeah, I think it
Yep.
empowers builders a lot and empowers users with idle crypto sitting around.
Yep, indeed. Good point there, Asian.
100%.
It, that is really Asian on Pulse. That is really what the heart of this
Yep.
is. There's people that have tokens on their wallet, and that capital is not working. This is something that Dave and I talk about a lot. How to get your capital to work for you rather than just sit there. And that's what our builds are trying to do, is in a very safe, in a very secure way, in a very systematic way, give people opportunities so that if they want their tokens, if they want their capital to start working for them, they can. And it's a set it and forget it system. You don't have to fiddle with it. You don't have to play the impermanent loss game. It's a set it and forget it system.
I think this
And
is going to
the
be very, very useful, especially when once you have your first RWA tokenization platform rolled out, because all of the token owners, they are going to need this.
yeah, and
Yes.
the beautiful part about this, we talk about, getting all of that capital sitting in wallets doing nothing as liquid. It's like, okay, let's go make a yield with that. But here's the beautiful part about LPX. It makes a yield in a positive reaction towards the token you're using. Your token's not only yielding you an asset, but it's helping the community, because its job, the design of LPX, is to push the token price higher. With traditional liquidity, there's nothing out there trying to push the price higher. Your just tokens are sitting out on a market table. It's like, hey, here are my wares. Come buy what you want. Here, I'm going to put it out there as passive liquidity. This is active liquidity. This is actively trying to push the token price higher. And when you get the community coordinated behind that effort, it really has a positive impact on the price. So the more people within Pulse Chain we can get to be proactive with their tokens, the better the price chart will be for all of the tokens on Pulse Chain, because this thing does intend, as the no trade zone moves higher, it's ratcheting higher, trying to push the floor price of all tokens higher.
Yep. And gents, one thing that we always say is try it out. Education is gold. Try it out. There are wonderful protocols. Try it out. Test it for yourself. Give it a test run. If you want to ask questions, we are here to guide you every step of the way. Try it out. See it for yourself. Especially if you're thinking of staying in crypto long term, you want to expose yourself to what are the different options that are out there. Here you can provide liquidity, and MacB, it's not a headache to provide liquidity. You now have a very simple system where you can stake it and then watch and see what happens to the yield. Our invitation is try things out, learn. Crypto is not going anywhere. Asian on Pulse, the world is coming to crypto. Crypto is not coming to the world. The entire world, the entire financial world is coming to crypto.
That's
Indeed,
right.
man. Yeah, indeed. I agree on that, man. I agree on that. 100%.
Yeah, agree to that. So for the single site staking, it also applies to stables, right? I'm sure there are some users with stables sitting around. They just want to play safe in a way, but they might want to just stake it in the sense where they are able to take some profit.
Dave,
Absolutely.
we want to speak a little bit about
we have
pools.
we have one stable pool right now. We have Fast Abdul. I'm sure you're familiar with Fast. He has his own liquidity fork out there, and he has his InkD protocol. So we have an InkD DAI stable pool over on LPX. So yeah, you can get a nice yield stable to stable. We are going to part of what was it going to be? LPX phase 3.3. We're going to have liquid pools out there. Yeah, we'll have liquid pools, which are more like a traditional V2, and that's where you're going to want the stable to stable yield is probably going to be that, because you want your bid and ask to be much smaller than what we have with a traditional market maker. Traditional market maker, your spread is 2, 3, 5%, somewhere in there. if you're going to go stable to stable, you want that no trade zone, that gap between the bid and the ask to be very small. And that's going to be more efficient with our liquid protocol that we're coming out with. So we'll have it's called LPX liquid or liquid staking. And that's where the LPX liquid will be a much better place for our stable to stable, but that build is going to come after the 3.1 solo pool.
Yes. And Asian on Pulse, I can tell you, we want to give people incredible yield on their stables.
We want to be the highest yielding stable to stable in all of crypto.
Exactly. We come back to the foundation. The foundation is we want a record, and we want to be the place where your capital is treated best. LPX, we could talk about market making. We could talk about smart liquidity. We could talk about all of these very technical subjects, but at the heart of it is LPX helping your capital working the best yield for you. That's really the heart of what LPX does it. And it does it with a smart profit engine that has been built over many years.
Cool.
Well said, Jay.
Said, brother.
Jen?
Well said, brother.
Yeah. This has been very, very exciting. Really, one of our favorite streams here. Great questions from you guys. Is there that you would like to chat?
Chat?
Chat.
Yeah, let us try to ask chat. If you have question, guys, you could put your question on chat on our YouTube, on our Sockmez, on X, on my Facebook also. So chat, if you have question, this is the right time to ask the man themselves, right? We have J Gold and Dave from the Plus
Yes.
X team. So chat, if you have question, put it on our. And Matt as well, please like, share, and subscribe. And to the replay gang, you could watch this one on Pulse Asian TV on YouTube.
Amazing. And to any community members from the PlusX ecosystem, please like, please share. We're going to be posting this. We want to blow this up. We want to make the Pulse Asian TV channel go viral.
Appreciate.
Show some loving, guys. Show some loving. Show some loving.
Yes.
So just another question. I know it's like fully DeFi, but will you guys participate in any crypto conferences down the road?
Yes. So we just participated in the Hex conference, and we're talking. We also reached out to RH Max. Shout out to RH Max.
For the Proof
He's
X.
putting together the first ProveX conference, and we're going to participate in the ProveX conference. And exclusive for you guys, we will have ProveX LPX pools.
All right.
So if you did sacrifice the Richards late, right, L going to be there so that for those people that don't sell the ProveX, and I don't know if you guys have covered ProveX before, but this token might have quite a bit of demand. LPX will be able to make you a yield on the ProveX token. So if if Richard needs to take several months in delivering the actual protocol, you can deposit your ProveX token in an LPX pool and it will start to work for you. So exclusive for you guys. Dave and I have not talked about this anyplace else. We will have ProveX LPX pools available.
All right. You hear it first, guys, on Pulse Asian TV. I think you were asking if they will be going into IRL events. I think that's what you're.
Yeah, I mean online, yes, but also IRL offline crypto conferences.
Yeah.
We would love to do that. Would absolutely love to do that. And I have to say, in my I had a chance to work with Bangkok Bank. I have great friends in Malaysia, in Singapore, Filipinos, wonderful So yeah, I mean, we're getting started, but um, I think Dave and I talk a lot about this. We're here to stay, gents. This is not a one cycle thing for us at all. We're here to stay, and we want to get out there into the world. We're starting on Pulse Chain, and Pulse Chain is our home to get out there to the world. Absolutely.
That's right.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Dave, you want to say anything about that?
No, no. I mean, we're still in building phase. So, as soon as we get our, what do we call it, the gold medal offer? What's the frame you use, Jay?
We're trying to build a
Grand Slam offer.
We're trying
There
to
it
build
is.
a very offer.
Yeah. So go to Denny's and get the Grand Slam, or go to PulseX.
Yeah,
To have a gun,
trying to build
you need to have a three championships, right?
exactly. Yeah, we want to have some championship protocols that are here again to treat your capital great. Asian on Pulse, MacB, money goes where it's treated best.
Amen.
We think
Alright.
Pulse Chain is a great place for capital treated greatly, and we just want to make our contribution to that.
Indeed, you guys are doing awesome, man. Yeah, I cannot overemphasize of the things that you guys are doing, and yeah, glad to have you in stream, guys. Asian,
Yep.
we are down on our 1 and 28 minute mark. Yeah, any questions you want to ask? Chat is kinda, yeah. I think they're sleeping right now. It's like oh man, I think early morning. For the replay gang, you could still watch this one on our Sockmeds, guys. For the replay gang on Pulse Asian TV, please like, share, subscribe. We want to reach more audience, especially on the APAC region, Asian region, on the Asian region, right? So please like, share, and subscribe. We're doing this for the community, as these guys are doing building.
Yep.
Should I say building for the community? We I am more on community building. Asian is building his Munex, right? So I want to. We are like Legos, right? We are true DeFi network in which we do believe that you are really the network. I am the network. All right.
Absolutely. Hey,
Yes,
and for you guys and your
yes.
community, we host a VC in our Telegram room every Wednesday at 4 p.m. Eastern time. Today, yeah. So it's today. So in another how many hours are we away from this thing? About 7 hours away.
No, no, no.
Yeah,
7 hours,
7 hours from now, we will host a community VC in our Telegram room. We do that every Wednesday at the same time. So the community comes in. We talk about any updates we have going on with our devs and what they've done in the last week or so, and talk about any of the hot topics on Pulse Chain. And we provide an awful lot of great conversation. And it's a nice positive room where everybody's still really excited about Pulse Chain in our room because of what's going on within our builds and our community. And we'd love to have you and your community come join us in our Telegram room and get to meet more of the team members instead of just Jay and I. You'll get to meet Doc and Boss and Haunted, and we'll just have a great conversation. That's where we spend a lot of our time on Wednesdays. Every Wednesday at the same time, we host a community room, and we have
All
a
right.
great talk.
Rose, please let me in. Rose, please let me in. I'm kind of bad.
Yeah, I'm gonna get you in. I'm gonna get you in.
All
And
right.
the other thing I want to say is,
I got
yeah,
banned. I did not do anything. It's my first time actually to.
no, it's Rose. Rose is acting up, and I think I want to speak for Dave and for the whole team. We love that you're reaching out to the Asian community. It is a gigantic crypto community, a gigantic family, and just thank you so much for doing that. Um, we want to support you guys in our Telegram room. We're going to, pin this and have people like and retweet because, Asia is a huge part of crypto.
It is.
And I'm thrilled that you guys are reaching out and saying, we're here and Pulse Chain is here.
That's right.
Thank you.
Yep. Thank you for the support to all the community of PulseX, right? And Well, thank you for the warm invitation for the meeting. But I think I'll probably be sleeping. That's
You
the
are
only.
indeed.
Well, well, I had to get up. I had to get up at 4 in the morning to join you guys today. So you can
Oh,
lose sleep
well,
every now and then.
I appreciate you, brother. I appreciate you, brother. Me and
Thanks for the
Asian were
sacrifice.
yeah, me and Asian was like asking guys, Asian, the guys could not be making out 8 in the evening because it may early in the morning there. But anyway,
Yeah.
guys, we appreciate your time. Yeah, man, it's just an honor and pleasure to have you on stream. And yeah, thank you for the updates you're bringing. Right. So yeah, we look forward for the ways that's gonna happen on LPX, right, with other utilities on the D app. So yeah, man. I'll have J Gold for the closing for this stream,
Yes.
and after J Gold, we'll
Well,
have Dave after J Gold. Yes, go ahead, brother. You have
first of all, thank you. Thank you so much for this invitation. Thank you for this opportunity. If we can help and support in any way, our door is open, our DMs are open. We would love to collab with you in any way. Um, you can find us on tg.plusx.app. And thank you, Asian community. Thank you so much, guys, for the incredible work that you're doing. Dave, pass it on to you.
No, yeah, come find us in our Telegram room. We're there, and we're also fairly frequent on some of the X spaces you see around on X. We jump in and out, but we are very open to collaborating with anybody who's positive about Pulse Chain and where we're going on this chain, because we do want to see it succeed. So thank you again for the invitation, and you guys have a blessed day.
indeed.
Well, as one of the hosts, I would also like to express my gratitude for Jay and Dave. Thank you for waking up 4 in the morning to join us, and also from the community. I think one beauty thing about being part of this Pulse ecosystem is that we builders and community help each other. So I'm sure there's a lot of noise and negative voices in the space, but look at the real people that are doing the works behind the scene. No matter the price up or down, we are contributing, right? We are all spending our own time and effort, our own money and resources to do things for the sake of
Yes.
the of the chain, right? So this is what I've been holding on to. I'm also inspired by many of our community as well, like Hexologists, like Awal and Crypto Coffee, like your friend saw me. Like so many people in the space, they are not being paid to do all the works that they are doing right now. So I am inspired, and that's why I step out and want to be the first project in first ecosystem project in Asia. And I'm upcomingly I also building up a TurboX protocol launchpad. So that's why I asked a few questions about like this topic. They will be empowered using LPX and also
Yep.
the pool management in the future.
Yes.
So I think we can definitely work closely in that direction. Yeah.
Yes. And
Yeah, we
Asian
would
on
love to
Pulse-
collab with you. We would love to collaborate with you on your launchpad. That would be something
Yes.
we're very interested in talking about.
Yeah. Appreciate
Exactly. And I'll leave this as a very interesting note. Wouldn't it be interesting if people could jump into an LPX pool when they launch their tokens? We'll just leave it as a very interesting exploration.
it. That's right. That's right.
Thank you very much, MacB, Asian on Pulse. Great host, amazing questions, and it's been an honor.
Likewise.
Likewise, brother. Have a good one.
Thank
Good
you,
evening.
guys. We're out of here. You have a blessed day. You guys can wrap this thing up.
Yep, indeed.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you guys for watching. All right, let's wrap this up. Again, guys, thank you for watching. This is your man, Nakdi Crypto, with my co-host of Pulse Asian TV, Asian on Pulse. Bye for now.
Ciao.
Ciao.